Let's say a kidnapper throws you in the back of a trunk. Don't panic. Once you get your bearings, find the carpet that covers the tail light. Peel back the carpet, make a fist, punch the tail light out the back of the car, thus creating a hole in the back of the automobile. Then stick your little hand out and wave to oncoming motorists to let them know that something hinky is going on. Can you imagine driving behind that? Like... I think they're turning left. Tip number 3, street smarts. You kids have no upper body strength. And we were like, we know, but hey. If some guy tries to grab you, you can't fight him with fists. So here's what you do. You kids fall down on your back and you kick upward at him. That'll throw him off his rhythm. That was a big thing with Bittenbinder, was throwing pedophiles off their rhythm. He's not gonna know how to fight back with 2 little sneakers coming at him. If the Lindbergh baby had steel-toe boots, he'd still be alive today. Street smarts. Yeah, he was not a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down kind of guy. He was more like, brush your teeth. Now, boom, orange juice. That's life. Bittenbinder, he didn't want us to not get kidnapped. He wanted us to almost get kidnapped and then fight the guy off using weird psych-out backroom Chicago violence. Like, here's what he wanted to see on the news. Like, we're here with 7-year-old John Mulaney, who fended off a kidnapper earlier today. How did you do it, John? Well, thank you for asking. I used the Bittenbinder method. When I saw the perp approaching, I chewed up a tab of Alka-Seltzer I carry with me at all times. This created a foaming at the mouth appearance that made it look like I had rabies. Now I've thrown him off his rhythm. Then I reach into his jacket pocket where I had planted a gram of coke and I went, whoa, what the fuck is this? And he goes, that's not mine. And I never seen that before. I go, boo-hoo, it's in your jacket. And you're doing 2 to 10 and your kids are going into social services. Now he's crying. Then I grab a telephone book and I beat him on the torso with it. Because as any Chicago cop will tell you, a phone book doesn't leave bruises. Well, that was 7-year-old John Mulaney, currently being sued for police brutality. Bittenbinder told me things that haunt me to this day. He came one year for assembly. He goes, okay, when you get kidnapped, not if, when. Okay, so when you get kidnapped, the place where the guy grabs you, in the biz, we call that the primary location, okay? Your odds of coming back alive from the primary location, about 60%. But if you are taken to a secondary location, your odds of coming back alive are slim to none. I am 35 years old, and I am still terrified of secondary locations. If I'm at a place, I never want to go to another place. I'll be at a wedding reception and someone will be like, hey, you coming to the hotel bar after? We're all gonna get drinks and keep the party going. I'm like, nah, sister. You're not getting me to no secondary location. You want it? Go get it. Street smarts. Stay alert out there. I thought I was gonna be murdered my entire childhood. In high school, people were like, what are your top 3 colleges? I was like, top 3 colleges? I thought I would be dead in a trunk with my hand hanging out of the taillight by now. I went to college for the whole time. Holy shit, right? I just got a letter from my college, which was fun, because mail, you know? So I opened up the letter, and they said, hey, John, it's college. You remember? I said, yes, of course. And then they said, how did they phrase it? Then they said, give us some money as a gift. We want a gift, but only if it's money. I found this peculiar. Because you see, what had happened, New York, was that when I was a student, you see, I had paid them a tuition money. Every semester, 2 semesters a year for 4 years. I don't remember exactly what it was, but rounding up, back in $1999, it was about $15,000 a semester, 2 semesters a year for 4 years. So it was about $30,000 a year for 4 years. So it was about $120,000, okay? So roughly speaking, I gave my college about $120,000, okay? So you might say that I already gave them $120,000, and now you have the audacity to ask me for more money? What kind of a cokehead relative? What kind of a cokehead relative is my college? You spent it already! I gave you more money than the Civil War cost, and you fucking spent it already? Where's my money? I felt like Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life when he's screaming at his Uncle Billy. I was like, where's the money? Where's that money, you fat motherfucker? Where's my money? Stay down on the ground. Stay down on the ground, you motherfucker. That's not the dialogue, but do y'all remember that scene from It's a Wonderful Life? Great movie, Frank Capra, 1946. $120,000. And I have friends I went to college with, and they're like, oh, you should donate and be a good alumnus. And they wear shirts that say school, and it's like, look, if you're an adult still giving money to your college, college is a $120,000 hooker, and you are an idiot who fell in love with her. She's not gonna do anything else for you. It's done. In their letter, they were like, hey, it's been a while since you've given us money. I was like, hey, it's been a while since you've housed and taught me. I thought our transaction was over. I gave you $120,000, and you gave me like a weird cinder block room with a Reservoir Dogs poster on it, and the first real heartbreak of my life, and probably HPV, and then we called it a day. Probably. Also, what did I get for my money? What is college? Stop going till we figure it out. Because I went to college, I have no idea what it was. I went to college, I was 18 years old, I looked like I was 11. I lived like a goddamn Ninja Turtle. I didn't drink water the entire time. I lived on cigarettes and alcohol and Adderall. College was like a 4-year game show called Do My Friends Hate Me or Do I Just Need to Go to Sleep? But instead of winning money, you lose $120,000. By the way, I agreed to give them $120,000 when I was 17 years old. With no attorney present. That's illegal. They tricked me. They tricked me like Brendan Dassey on Making a Murderer. They tricked me like poor Brendan. They pulled me out of high school. I was in sweatpants, all confused. 2 guys in clip-on ties are like, come on, son, do the right thing. Sign here and you'll be an English major. I was like, okay. Yes, you heard me. An English major. I paid $120,000. How dare you clap? How dare you clap for the worst financial decision I ever made in my life? I paid $120,000 for someone to tell me to go read Jane Austen, and then I didn't. That's the worst use of 120 grand I can possibly fathom. Other than if you, like, bought a duffel bag of fake cocaine. No, I take it back. That's a better use of the money. Because I know you'd be disappointed when you open up the duffel bag and you realize it's not real cocaine. It's like powdered baby aspirin or whatever they do. But at least you have baby aspirin. And maybe you have a baby. And one day your baby goes, oh, my head. And you go, hey, I got something for you. Come here, little guy. And you dump it out on a mirror, you make it nice for the baby. You make it nice, you cut it up into lines, with your laundry cart or whatever, and you make it nice, and your baby takes a sippy cup straw, and he holds it in his little ravioli-sized baby fist, and he leans over, and he snorts up the baby aspirin, and he gets rid of his baby headache, plus you get a duffel bag. That is way better than walking across a stage at graduation, hung over in a gown, to accept a certificate for reading books that I didn't read. Strolling across a stage, the sun in my eyes, my family watching as I sweat vodka and ecstasy, to receive a 4-year degree in a language that I already spoke. I don't mean to sound down on donating. It's good to give to charities, you know. My wife and I just gave a bunch of stuff to the Goodwill. We were moving apartments. We had a bunch of clothes and furniture, so we made a whole day out of it. We made these big piles of clothes, then we put the piles into these big boxes, then we put the boxes into the back of my car, and then they stayed there for 4 months. And then one day my wife said, "Hey, you took that stuff to Goodwill, right?" And I said, "Of course I did." On an unrelated note, I'm gonna walk out the front door right now. So then I had to like speed to Goodwill really fast. So it was charitable, but it was also fast and violent because I was like throwing boxes at people. The boxes were so heavy I couldn't even say what was in them. I was like, this one's shirts. I got a bunch of shirts. Take it away. The guy tried to give me a big receipt. He's like, take this receipt for the clothing for your taxes. I was like, how do I write that on my taxes? Dear IRS, please deduct from my federal income tax 1 XXL Billabong t-shirt from youth. It was too big. My mom said it could be a sleep shirt. Please deduct this from my 2017 income. That's sleep shirt bullshit. Well, if it's too big, you can just wear it as a sleep shirt. No, I get that, Mom. But why don't we just tell our relatives that I'm a 4-year-old boy and I don't wear a man's XXL t-shirt? Because we don't say that when someone gives us a gift, because that would not be polite. Oh, I get it. So rather than violate these meaningless politeness rules, I'll just go to bed in a smock like goddamn Ebenezer Scrooge. Why don't you give me a candle for looking in the mirror and a floppy hat, and I'll tremble off to bed in my long Victorian nightgown. Was there ever even a ghost mother? Or was the dead Victorian girl you saw just me all along? So that's why you can't give to charity. I'm kidding. I like to throw in "I'm kidding" at the ends of jokes now, in case the jokes are ever played in court. You ever heard a joke played in court? Never goes well. They're like, and that's why you shouldn't give to charity. Is that something you find funny, Mr. Mulaney?
At the time,
I found out recently that jokes don't do well in court. So, some friends of mine were sued in college for property damage, and they were guilty. And the lawsuit dragged on for years and years. And eventually, I got a call when I was 28 years old, and it was my friend from college. He said, hey, that lawsuit with my neighbor is still dragging on, and my neighbor just subpoenaed all my emails from college that mention him or the lawsuit. And I said, well, that's crazy, but why are you calling me? And he said, because you should be concerned. He said, I have an email here from junior year where I wrote, hey guys, I'm gonna miss practice tonight because I have to meet with my neighbor about that lawsuit thing. And you replied, hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you? Because it sounds like he sucks, and I will totally kill that guy for you. Okay, see you at improv practice. Of all the sentences in that email I would be ashamed to have read out loud in a court of law, I think the top one is see you at improv practice.